Start streaming. Let's make sure that all this sound plays. So I have my volume up here. Let's see. Tom, what's up? Let's see. Come on, sound. Let's catch up. Wow, is it really that far behind? Oh, no, I just hadn't pressed play yet. Okay, cool. We're here. Let's see. That's good there. No thanks. That's good. I thought you said you weren't going to be here, Tom. Keep going down here because I see a peninsula and I'm super happy. But we're really up here. Tiki is where we're going. Says arrival. No, I don't care about that. Let's look at it real quick. Let's see where fuel box is. Ramp. Helipad. Fuel box is probably that one there. Yeah, truck. Says arrival. Okay. It's going to be a shorter type deal tonight for sure. Because I have there's a plane out here. CCA 9998. Interesting. I'm going to check on flight radar real quick to see who the hell that is. What are you? China cargo. Air China from Vancouver to Beijing. Okay. Bless me. We are taking off from here. Set as departure. I want to do the 222 today. Like I said, today's going to be a shorter stream because I've got to wake up early tomorrow. Pack up the car, drive a bit, do the bachelor party thing. So I'm looking forward to that private ride. Where are you? Oh, not bad. Not bad. We did Airwolf the other day. Let's just look and see if there's anything else real quick. Because it cruises fast. The 222 is definitely a fast cruiser. Oh. We haven't done that since Canada. And once we get further south to where things are a bit closer, we'll start jumping into more smaller things. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Fuel. Whew. We're on not the edge, but it's out there. Cool with that though. Flight conditions live. Everything live. Saving back. Does it have us at Markov? Yeah, okay, cool. On ground shut down. Let's see. That should be all. Let's get this recenter. Do 25 nautical miles sounds good. Go zoom in. Let this fight itself trying to load for a second. And we'll get into this. I had a water bottle sitting out. Where did I put it? Somewhere that's not right here. Let me go grab that. Okay, back in. Let's go. That's way low. Okay, that's good. Let's start the flight. Almost thought I had technical difficulties today, but we did not yet. So that what? Yeah, I wasn't even. We were sitting on the ground. We should be on the ground, ready to take off. Did y'all see that? Excuse me? What? What on earth was that? Okay, y'all watching? Okay, let's get this here. Okay, dude, yep. Like I said, I was surprised you're even here. But since you're here, let's laugh at this real quick, see if it does it again. Oh shit, that's funny. What I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna land down here and just set it down, and then we'll restart because I don't know what the hell that was. It's not like we even have freaking wind like that out here. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Shut up, I don't care. Where's my gear up? Yeah, that's probably what that is. Three in the green. Okay, I'm not counting that as a crash. That's a glitch, but we're going to restart as if we were on the ground. Yeah, dude, thanks for just being here and coming in and saying hey. Like I said, I know you're busy today, and it means a lot that you even appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I know why. I no idea. uh, get rid of all these. Don't want anything on. Seatbelts, no smoking, no, not on my place. Y'all are allowed to do that. And go and hit battery off. Okay, so now that let's see if we can get the doors and everything for everybody. Yeah, get out of here. Go do what you need to do. I said I wasn't expecting you to be here today, anyways. So go enjoy your day. Go do what Toms do, and we'll be here tomorrow or the next day, or the next day, or the next day. You may make us later. You may not. Like I said, gonna be shorter tonight, and I'm not gonna do any extracurricular activities tonight, just because it's I still gotta pack and I still gotta do a lot of stuff for tomorrow's activities for me. So tonight's gonna be shorter, but I just want to get something done at least, get down to tiki 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 tiki. But yeah, for anybody else that's hopping in here, that's not Tom. Welcome to day 16 of We're Flying a Helicopter Around the World, because I'm lost as a human and I have nothing better to do than put a VR headset on and fly around in a stream and be mad at technology. So today's flight is going from Markovo, Russia, which is kind of a couple hundred miles off of the east coast, down to Tilichiki, which is kind of in a little east coast bay peninsula area. And I mean, y'all are seeing far left of the screen. I need to fix that too. Let's see. See, that's looking at the screen there. Dead on, dead on. Let me check my stream. Don't know why that's completely off, because I didn't change anything from yesterday. And yesterday's stream was fine, as far as I remember. So don't mind me, I'm just going to be rewatching my side for a second. This is still looking dead on for me. Okay, cool. So that looks good. And I'll double check that once I get inside the helicopter. But yeah, so we're doing that bit today. 2 days, or I can even look at this a little bit more. Give me just a second. So there-ish. That's me looking almost dead center of the hell. Okay, so that's looking dead center. Oh my goodness, what the hell is going on today? I have no fucking clue. Question is, why is it fighting me so much today? Okay, let's see. I'm going to hop into the helicopter real quick. And Shift C. Let's get down a wee bit. This is me looking straight ahead right here. This is me looking down a little bit. Check my stream. So we were fine yesterday. I don't know what changed between now and then. So let's get back to my stream. Let's watch. Okay, cool. We can live with this. We can live with this. We're good now. Don't know why that was an issue, but you know, we're here. We're doing it. I'm going to double check the filter on it. Whoa. Okay. 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 Cool. Cool, 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 cool. I think we're good. Scoot that over slightly. And sick. Okay, sorry about that to anybody who sat through that. Uh, let's get started. I don't know why this thing was giving us a weird start when we first got in. But let's go and turn the battery on. Fuel valve on prime. Fuel valve on and prime. Get some of this stuff going on. Gotta mind my stick here to make sure we're still in a good place with that. Okay, but I know my RPMs are low. I'm going to top off the fuel here because I have no idea what it was doing to us. And we're going to get into it, it looks like now. Fun. Going that direction, that's fine. G on my keyboard gets rid of all the cheater brackets. Things are warming up. We're looking good. I'm going to slowly roll our throttle up on the collective here. Watching the engine RPM raise, which is this top left big gauge here. I can get my controller. Watching the engine RPM raise right here. Get that in the green. Didn't over torque during any of that. Green, 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 green. Green, green, operational, green, green. Gear is currently down, as it should be. The only light that we have on the dash is the brakes. And we're ready to chooch and toots. So let's see, we're going to take the brakes off. I feel like my seating position is slightly better like this. Like a slightly forward. Okay, cool. So we should be able to check that right there. Markovo, whatever tower, Markovo traffic. This is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We appreciate your hospitality. Me and not Elaine are going to get out of here and start our journey to the south. We will see you guys later. I'm going to taxi out to this little runway area, and we're going to do a thing in Shkadoodle. Fly over us some Siberian tundra, you know? We're going to do a cool guy takeoff and just kind of do it. So, as we're moving forward, I'm just going to add a little bit more collective until we're off the ground here. And we're going to we're going to start scooting and stooching, or whatever the cool kids say. I don't know. And since we're moving now, we're going to take our gear. We're going to put it up. We have this beautiful retractable gear helicopter. Bell 222 Bravo. We're not airwolfing today, but we might as well be. And let's see. My EFB just to get our bearings and everything figured out. Looks like we're going to be heading in a this sort of direction here. And even a little bit left of that. It's like a 2-1 to 2-2 heading. And this is a bit of a longer rip as far as a one take goes, a one trip goes, but fuel in airports are very sparse in this area of the world. So we do what we can. It sounds weird, but yeah, we can't be too picky with where we're going. We just got to get somewhere. Also, I'm texting and driving right now. Like I said, I have a bachelor party to attend to tomorrow, so I'm making sure all of that's set and good to go. Okay, I should be locked back in for a bit. Oh. Heading a little bit left there. Let's head for this area there in the mountains. Kind of reckoning I'm there-ish on that mountain's where I'm heading. Okay, let's focus in and fly nicer since everybody's riding along with us. Oh. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Siberian tundra. It's not too exciting up here. Kind of thankful to see some mountains ahead of us. But if you hop in and you want to chat, go for it. I'll be here talking or not talking. We're cruising 145 knots or so I'm hoping that we're going to be good. Should put us right near the edge of our fuel capacity with everything. So yeah, no big deal. It's all fun, and like I said, it's this part of the world. You know, we get to really once we get out of Russia, Eastern Russia, it's going to become significantly easier for these legs. We get out of this area, it's gonna be a lot different. A whole bunch of airports, a whole bunch of stuff to see, a lot of civilization. Since this is Flight Sim 2024, we should have different architecture, different tree styles, a lot of everything, you know? So, fingers crossed once we start getting further south, and the coast will lively up a little bit. And especially once we'll do a big-ish water crossing day, getting over to Japan. And I think once we hit the main island in Japan, we're really just going to do like R-22, Bell 206 type helicopters around just to keep it slow and good. Slow and fun and exploratory, and it's also weird seeing these random mountains popping up in the middle of the tundra. But I see a few extra people in here. Feel free to say hey if you're in here. My normal full-time chatter, he is off living a life outside of watching a stream. So it's up to me and it's up to you guys today to keep it lively. Or to keep it quiet, you know, either way. I'm going to be here flying regardless. Radio call. Cowan 1891. Sorry, we are November 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. Also, big news for all none of you probably watching. We have I'll say second unofficial channel sponsor. First one is my mod, Georgia Plane Spotting. Shout out to him. If you like airplanes and you like spotting them, go give his channel a shout or a shot. Yet, but he helped me pick out a whole bunch of stuff for PC parts and putting those together for this, which you may say, oh man, well your stuff's only loading in here. You know, well I also didn't spend $1 billion putting together the ultimate VR flight simulator system. I put together a much more budget-friendly system, and he still got me to where this works fantastic in my opinion. So if you're looking for Aaron's information and he can help set you up with pieces and parts and even build it or set it up or whatever for you, then let me know and I'll shoot you his information. But kind of giving him an unofficial channel sponsor spot just because he was such a huge help to me getting my setup going. Hey, look, more frozen tundra. Thank you, Russia. Now, for a bit, I was kind of upset that there weren't more airports out here and civilization because I don't have a place to land. I don't have a place to do fuel. Can't really do any of that. But, you know, I kind of don't blame them because it looks cold out here and everything looks frozen. And it's not exactly something I would be trying to get into myself. Oh, and if you see me wiggling or whatever, two things. I don't have autopilot. And the reason I don't have autopilot is none of my peripherals will self-center. So if I move over here too much and it moves my arm and my shoulder with me, then the whole helicopter moves with me. The cyclic is very loose, and I keep it that way because I want to be able to see or feel that the helicopter is this swing and work to correct it. If it's too centered to where I can just trim it out, then I don't think I'm going to get good enough practice or good enough rehearsal. So I purposefully keep it a bit on the loose side. Yeah, super slow stream tonight. Not expecting a huge turnout, but that's okay. Not worried at all. I gotta do these boring legs anyway, and I kind of told everybody that the next few days is going to be boring as it is, so no worries. I'll just be chilling, flying, and when I look this way, I'll check my messages, and if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. Wonder if I can do this right here. Honestly, it's kind of hard to fly like that. We were turning right slowly with that as well. Turn left to get back online. We'll kind of aim ourselves here at that 2-1.5. And just bury that throttle. Oh, there's a bit of an overspeed there. That's what I get for readjusting my seat. Super fun scenery. Sorry about this. This is literally a flyover city. When I say flyover city, I mean flyover entire half of a country. And no, we're not exactly in a 777 or a A330 or whatever. We're not in a big plane going really fast, really high. We're in a helicopter doing 145 knots. Which I mean that's still 160 miles an hour ish. But we're definitely not fast movers right here. And today's just gonna be this. So stick around. If you talk, I'll yap. But if not, I'll just be locked in. Don't need Prime on. We'll start throwing some altitude at this. Maybe it'll get interesting at 6,000 feet. Try to keep our speed up though. Getting into location as quick as possible and as efficiently as possible is top priority. Slowly climb, slowly correct. Easy enough. Also, I know I've got my stream up on my phone watching just so I can monitor view and audio and stuff. But if you're one of the others watching, sorry, it's a boring day. Call Russia, tell them Siberia needs more exciting stuff. I got a left of peak of this second mountain here. Some clouds up ahead. Unsure of any weather though. Nothing visible on this. Yep, slow night. Slow night for sure. That is true. Who's messaging? Left of peak on this hill. I said we throw a good bit of altitude at this. Starting to have obscured vision of whatever's ahead of us up here. So we'll throw 1,000 feet a minute at it, try to maintain 120 knots. Gonna readjust my seating. It's gonna wobble a bit for us. Not too bad though. Looks like I can throw a bit more torque at this as well. Keep our ponies up. Big thing is I don't want to get caught in all this cloud and not be familiar with the terrain, not be familiar with our highest points. We didn't have a good altimeter when we left Markovo, or whatever the name of that place is. Markovio. 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 Whatever sounds most Russian. Most Cyrillic. Yeah, it's like super ASMR day here on multi-shot mat. So welcome. See a few of y'all making your way in and out. Glad you're stopping by, but also I do not blame you for leaving. It is a less than exciting day here. But I will say it's about to get a bit exciting because we're flying towards some IMC type stuff. At this point here, keeping our speed up, watching our gauges. I believe we can still kind of see the ground below us. Kind of a little instrument flight, you know. I know I can see a little bit of ground outside, but I'm not watching it right now. I'm just watching my gauges. Oh, that's weird. Breaking through the top of the clouds threw me off really, really hard. That bit of light. There we go. Would have busted out cleaner, but would have busted out cleaner. Would have broke out nicer, but was not expecting it. So kind of threw me off for a second, but stayed in the gauges, flew the aircraft. That's what matters. I know we could still see a little bit down there, but I don't also I don't cheat when I do my IFR training, but I really don't. I lock into the gauges super, super hard. I know what I wanted my climb rate to be. I know I wanted to keep our speed above a certain thing. I wanted to keep our yaw in check. So yeah. Looks like we might have an into the snow up here, which might be nice. If we do, that'll be a good reason to work back down. We're off course slightly by a few degrees. Gonna work back to a 2-1-ish sort of path instead of a 2-4. And check our tablet. We're not too far offline. Perfect. Let's keep the speed up, keep the altitude here. I want to skirt above these clouds. Really don't care to dive below them right now, mainly because the ground is so unexciting because there's such a lack of photogrammetry that the AI is just kind of peppering trees on color, and it's really nothing to look at. So I'd rather sit here and maintain 6,700 feet ish. Keep speeds up. We're doing 135. We can go up to 140 or so without burning too much fuel. Keep our heading here-ish. But I mean, you can see, I mean, the ground's just, it's unexciting right now. Siberia's an unexciting place. There's a reason that we're doing basically an entire fuel tank to get to somewhere, because even one of our long-range helicopters yesterday would have had a bit of an event getting south from our previous airport, the one before the one we started at today, up in I don't even know how to pronounce that place, but getting down the Tilichiki, whatever it is. So we actually went west to Markovo, and now we're heading south to Tilichiki, whatever it is. And there's really no purpose to head west except for fuel. Trying to land only at airports where I can see that it's a paved runway, or I can confirm that there's jet fuel there in real life, because I want to try to do this as realistic-ish as possible, you know. Okay, stop wobbling, get back in the zone. See, I'm trying to do it realistic-ish, you know. I don't want to fudge it too much. We'll do a ferry tank fudge if we have a super, super long one. But if it's possible to do without a ferry tank fudge, then if that means an extra day of diverting to go to a shorter crossing or find a more optimal path, then I'll gladly do that. Yeah, we're just working our way down through Siberia currently, so don't expect anything ridiculously exciting. Because guess there's not much ridiculously exciting about Siberia to begin with. Let's see, tab. Cool. But if you do know something exciting, all like 2 or 3 of you watching, then please feel free to let me know what is cool about Siberia. Because there has to be resources out here. I feel like there's basically resources under every square inch of Earth in some way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of figuring out what those resources are, what it costs to get them, and if it's worth getting them. Like if there is gold out here, would it make sense to go for gold? What would be the operational cost of purchasing rights to the land, bringing all of the crew out here to mine for it, bringing all of the equipment out here to mine for it, bringing all the sustainment for the crew out here to keep them going, whether it be food, entertainment, whatever runs the equipment, getting them in and out of here for however long at the chance of maybe finding gold. Who knows? Although I feel like oil's probably a much better bet out here. But either way, we're just gonna cruise. We're keeping it up. If y'all have questions about the setup, about me, about the helicopter, about whatever, where babies come from, then we can discuss that. Gives me something to talk about, keeps you guys a little bit more entertained. And it definitely makes the flight move a little bit quicker, especially in these remote areas like this. Yeah, I'm excited to see us getting south of the snow line here. That's actually big news because I think we only have patches of snow from here on south. And if it stays that way, then hopefully the next big snow, big ice that we see will be in Nepal or like northern Myanmar, Burma area when we start getting out towards Mount Everest and the whole range out there. Because sadly, we don't have any helicopters that will make it that high, just because the game doesn't do the honor of building the A star to do what it's done in real life. But we'll fly to base camp or something at Everest. I think that'd be something neat to do. There's a lake or something, bigger lake up to the right up there. Let's see. Plus side is this helicopter cruises at top speed 150. We're only using like 80% torque doing it. So pretty damn good miles per gallon. With a time taken into consideration too. Okay, cool, you can be super efficient, but if you're going 12 miles an hour, I don't want anything to do with it. I'd rather be going 100 miles an hour and spending a little bit more fuel just to just be getting there in some sort of timely manner. Which if you're ever looking into like purchasing an airplane or something, it's airplane pilots at least are pretty big braggers about like, cool, this engine's so tight and so smooth and so good that we can do 140 knots at a fuel flow of 5.5 gallons per hour when we are 30 degrees lean of peak, and it's I mean, fuel economy is a thing, and if you're using something as a commuter plane, or you're driving, if you're flying it for business purposes, where you're really getting out to the mileages of commercial airlines or something, just because it's a lot easier for you to fly from small town to another small town instead of drive from your small town to the big town where the airport is, ride that plane, get a rental car, go and drive another couple hours to your small town that you need to go to. And sometimes it's smarter to have a small plane. It's a lot easier. You don't have to go through all the ticketing process. Good write off for businesses for tax purposes and everything as well. So, yeah, a lot of airplane people are, don't say they brag, but they're very proud, They've got a plane so well set up that it can do this, at this, at this. And good for them. I kind of want to get lower, but the terrain's still so boring here. If you're from Russia and you're a huge Siberia fan, get evaluated, dude. Now, there was some sort of small town nearby where you had food and friends and some sort of quicker way to get to a bigger city if you needed to. Then yeah, this isn't bad. But this is just remote. That's what this is. Just remote, middle of absolutely nowhere. But I mean, if you don't have the money or the industry or the resources that could be easily accessible to promote uh, population migration to a place like this, then it's going to stay like this. It's wild to think that this is. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't want to say third world countries, but there's a lot of less developed places in the world, even today in 2025. Or guess what? I'm sure they have good resources too. It's just either the people there don't want to be helped because they don't want to be brought to the Western world. I get it. I'm actually kind of for that. Some of it's just the ineptitude of a leader of a place or the people itself, where they just are incapable of bringing their society up into the future. But move out here. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff. It only gets cold for a few months out of the year. Look, the snow's even melted here now. Kind of. I'm sure the permafrost means absolutely nothing. Ooh, I saw 5 people watching for just a second. Big numbers today. It's Friday night, but people are busy, and they've got other things to do than watch the tundra. Is that the top of that peninsula already? That is, that's wild. Let's see, where's my mouse? Nope. Oh, Yeah, kind of, I believe. Still need a wee bit left. I think we have a little bit of a crosswind coming from the left, if I remember correctly from the other days. We were having a tailwind when we were going westward. So it makes sense for us to be slowly getting pushed out of our trim. But I hope anybody who does drop in here is having a good day. Well, just thankful you dropped by to say hey, if anything, to lurk for a second to see what's going on, to see what part of the world we're in. We are in remote Russia. And let me tell you, remote is slightly an understatement. There is nothing out here. I would have preferred to be flying down the eastern coast of Russia, but there's a lack of airports that I can verify having Jet A, and we're trying to do this as realistic-ish as possible. So, here we are flying the interior of Russia a little bit, putting everybody to sleep who swings through. But as you can see, the Bell 222 still looks beautiful. Damn, look at that thing go. Like, sure, the Airbus H160 or the let's think, Dolphin AS3 365, or the 155, if you will. A couple of the Agusos are very nice, like the 169 is a bit bigger than the 109. There's a lot of nice retractable gear helicopters, but I don't think anything looks as good as the 222 Bravo. Like, I'm sorry, the 160 is a good looking helicopter. Don't get me wrong, I do really, really enjoy the blades on the 160. New quiet blade design, the Finstrom tail rotor, which is kind of cocked sideways at this weird angle, where instead of it being completely vertical or vertical-ish like this, it's kind of, we're looking at the flat face of this, so instead of it's being like that, it's kind of like this a little bit, so that way it counteracts the movement. Georgia, plane spotting, about time you showed up. I've been sitting in silence or talking at nothing. We're south of Markovo, and we're north of Tiki. Still Eastern Russia, because we had the 2 days off or whatever for my scuba diving expedition, sunken vessel, and stuff recovery mission. But did a longer trip yesterday to Markovo, or whatever. That's kind of like 200 miles on the interior. Now we're heading south. But yeah, glad you just dropped by to say hey. Tom kind of had the same thing today where he's busy, so he popped in to say hello at the beginning, and he's like, okay, goo, gotta get out of here. So, yeah, tiki. I think it's Tilichiki, Til. It's in the, I put in the description. I actually checked and made sure that was all right today. But it's in the description. That's our course for today. And it looks like maybe we're coming up on the northern part of the bay. I can't tell because I can't move the map around thanks to VR and the game not being complete. But here we are. Berlin, you are here. Thank you. Way better than Sean. See you, dude. Also, may or may not be tomorrow. Tomorrow's bachelor party day for me, so it kind of depends on how I'm gonna say how wild it gets. I'm not gonna get smashed or anything. I'm not a big drinker, but kind of depends, you know. We'll see. And we're getting back late, and I'm super tired and exhausted. It's supposed to rain, so we have to be fighting that a little bit, and whatever. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, tomorrow's streaming or not streaming is yet to be determined. Um. Oh, Sean, you're here. Hey. Yeah. Also, with tomorrow, it's like what was I gonna say? Tomorrow, rainy, exhausting state, cooking cigars, not getting trashed, shooting motorcycles. I don't remember where I was going with this, but yeah, may or may not be tomorrow. Oh yeah, it depends on how far the leg is tomorrow. That's the big thing. Like I'll hop on and look before I put up a stream notification. But with this being East Coast Russia, all of our legs and jumps are a significant distance. So me saying that I'm going to do a leg is a pretty big undertaking either way. Like I was a bit tired. I had a busy day. But the undertaking of this leg today is like, okay, cool. Regardless, just for this one hop, it's going to be a full tank of fuel here in the 222 Bravo. So no matter what we do, it's like I have to dedicate myself to that full jump, and I think it's going to be another pretty sizable jump tomorrow. I'll even hop on the map and stuff after we finish this leg today and see what it looks like. Because we're gonna land, we're gonna lock it in. We're not gonna shenanigans. I've done a couple of 5-hour streams this past 7 days, so I'm my eyes are tired, my brain is wiped. But with that said, we'll see what it looks like for tomorrow, and if it's if we can do a shorter jump, then we'll do a shorter jump just to make some progress. You know, stay consistent. Consistent posting is the key. Little things rendering in down there. What they are, I don't know, but they're little things. Yeah, Siberia's boring. We should just glass this place while we're at it. There's a lot of places on the glass list, but Siberia for no other reason than like you're not gonna hurt anything up here anyways. Ooh, we melt a little bit of permafrost. Guess what? It's frozen again. Done. Oh man, what about the wildlife? What wildlife? There's nothing up here. But didn't Russia do? Was their nuclear test of Tsar Bomba? Was that Russia? I feel like it was like northern Scandinavia, but maybe it's just like the Russian part of northern Scandinavia. Because part of me feels like they bombed another country just because it's so close to like Norway and all those places up there. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm probably not wrong. It probably is actually Russia, but here, let's get our heading here set before we enter this little bit of IMC. Got a lot of power left on the table. So we'll throw some power and speed at this. Little baby killed a lizard, eh? Hell yeah. This was a tiring week. Tell me about it. This is thick clouds here. Welcome to IMC conditions, boys. Flying the gauges, breaking out the top, easy peasy. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh my god, instrument flying so scary. Look at your instruments. What's hard about that? If your instruments work, just look at them. Easy. Just gotta get used to not being able to see around you. In mid-Russia. I mean, Russia is pretty mid, let's be honest. It's funny, I get more distracted now when I'm texting and driving versus going through IMC conditions. Okay, cool. So that point right there is a bay, but we're going to be basically going directly south from that point. Ish. Kind of. But I must see. But yeah, our golf ball cannon thing that you were asking about earlier, like it's exciting, but it's not that exciting. Um, I don't want to say it's played out because it's now like everybody who does these tournaments, it's like the same people doing the tournament over and over and over again. So they all sponsor holes or buy slots or whatever for different tournaments. So their friend does it for a tournament, another company does a tournament. Anyways, it's all like the same people playing the same tournaments over and over and over again. So I don't want to say they're tired of the golf ball cannon, but they've all seen it before, and a lot of them are like, "Man, this is so cool! I love doing this," and kind of skipping the whole hole. But we want to build a golf ball mortar system, so it operates the same way with a compressed air. It's like, yeah, sure, we could do like hairspray, but it's very, very hard to meter the hairspray and get it in a way that's consistently usable when we're trying to put something on the green. But we figure with a mortar system, we can kind of play into it a bit more theatrics, a bit less guessing too. Say, oh man, we got the wind this much and it's going da 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 blah 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 whatever, and hopefully be able to really dial it in and put people on the green because they're going to pay that $20 on the hole or whatever. Then they want to have the $20 go to put them on the green. It's kind of part of it, you know. But I'm looking into ways to do a slightly different design and style with it, just because it's a little engineering thing for me to do. And hopefully it ends up benefiting some people in need with the charities that they do for. Uh, Speaking of designing and engineering stuff, how much have you been paying attention to new 3D printing filaments? Specifically, hyper exotic thermoplastics, Mr. Sean. I could go higher, but I kind of like the risk of going IMC here. Dude, some allergies are screwing me right now. I don't know what or why. It's annoying. But anyways, for anyone that's listening, oh, there's Sean. He does speak. I know we have a little bit of a delay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we have a board, so I can put up. Nice. Okay. So, anyways, hyper exotic thermoplastics. Um, I happened to run across a page, or not a page, a YouTube video, where the title of it was something like "This is the future of motorsports," or something to that tune. And it was a company called like Vision something. I don't know. Anyways, let's actually go below the clouds here. We'll kill off a little bit of altitude because it looks like we're just going to get a whole bunch of clouds, and I'd rather not just be cloud surfing the whole stream. Um. Anyways, they were discussing a new 3D printing filament. You got to use like a freaking $15,000 machine to print it, which is still like an extrusion machine. But it's called Ultim 1010. And this stuff is wild. Holy crap. It prints at like 500 degrees C. Or somewhere up there. I mean, super, super hot. Yeah, extremely heat resistant, obviously. Has a very good finish. Can handle pressure, stresses. The dude printed like a shape, like a cylindrical shape, but it's kind of like a square cylinder or whatever that kind of like twisted. And anyway, neat looking thing. 1 layer thick, literally just like the outside layer thick. And he could not crush it by squeezing with his hands as hard as he could or standing on it. Ultim Tintin, ULTEM. But the YouTube video was called like this is the future of race cars, and it was done by like Vision Masters or something. But super wild thing. Apparently, a lot of motorsport teams are using Ultim 9085 currently. I believe that's the one that they're using. But Ultim 1010 is like a newer version or something of it. But dude, it's like, okay, cool. If I can think of something that could benefit being used from that sort of thing and where I could do production runs of it, like it would almost be worth getting a super expensive filament and a $15,000 machine to make it, because you could sell the parts for super good price because it's so light. I mean, like lighter than carbon fiber, obviously, because you can print it in such a thin type thing. But I was even talking to some of my more 3D printing, like consistently in that world friends. And they're like, dude, it's so hard to keep up. There's new stuff coming out every day. New filaments, new technologies for printing, new methods for printing, new treatments for things or after processing, completely new printing methods as far as where it's not just extrusion or the laser sintering, but there's like other different methods and stuff that they're coming out, or in the liquid one, whatever that's called. There's so many different ones. Know Your Joe, what's up? And also the person's this is not noise terrain. This is the most boring flight of the series so far. I'm sorry, but Kansas was more exciting because there were towns. Link shared to Head Nerd. Nice. What am I wanting to make? Don't really know yet. I'm always thinking of different ideas and things, and I've got a nice bamboo setup now where I can print more or less anything I want. You know, there are limitations to what just extrusion prints do, but it's nothing that I'm really pushing at the moment. I'm relatively busy during the days for being fun employed at the moment, so I'm not too concerned with it. But I'm sure I could figure something out, some sort of use for it. And thankfully, we don't have Elaine in here with us today. Man, she was being a bitch a few episodes ago. Also, if I'm yawning, sorry, not sorry. It's been a busy week for everybody, apparently. I mean, we went from nobody in here earlier to 8 people now. We are 800 times return. Still small numbers. Don't care. Like I said, I was doing this with nobody in here. I'm just doing this because I'm bored and need something to do to have fun with. Need a project. Need something to look forward to. But yeah, there's a lot of things I can make. A lot of things I've thought. Sorry about that noise. I'm scratching the nose. Got a decent bit of sunburn the other day doing the scuba boat and stuff recovery. Start hanging a little bit left to try to stay on the flight director a little bit. Not that we're terribly off, but we are running a very tight fuel exhaustion point today. When I say very tight, I don't mean super, super tight. Like we have a good 70-mile reserve on top of our allowable distance or whatever. But I'd like it to be a lot less than that, or a lot bigger than that typically, standard, you know? You have big ideas for 1010. Good. Your video quality was set really low. No, your video quality's fine. It's just the terrain's that boring. Which I think I'm putting this out in like 720, 60, I believe, because I am on Starlink, so I'm limited by what I can download from the cloud, being that this is a cloud-based game, and what I can also throw back up to the cloud at the same time, or throw back up to YouTube at the same time. So it's like I kind of have to split those hairs a little bit. I may see if I can change it to do like a 1080, 30. See what that looks like. But either way, you know, it's still so much better than what it could be, you know. And for me, who has no idea what I'm doing half the time, anyways, it's not that bad. Yeah, exactly. Video quality can't go anywhere. We're already at the bottom. Only way to go is up. And I think my main limitation on that's just we're on Starlink because I'm remote. And dude, I got too many to do here. So this is my keep me busy from 8 o'clock until midnight ish project, or 8 o'clock, and different levels of abilities and whatnot. Working on setting those up, reaching out to people daily for different things, trying to get more work in film, just so I can fill more time successfully. Would come out there and help Sean, but I live so far away that it's not worth it. They wouldn't pay enough for me to come all the way out there. It was so legit thought those were nice mountains. No, they're on top of being boring, maybe a little bit more exciting over there. On top of being boring, because we are in Siberia technically, the photogrammetry of the area is so low that there's not a lot of ground detail for the AI to work off of in building this. So I think a lot of the land up here is more generative than it would be in a more known area. Like flying through the US, for instance. Like the Washington State episode was a good one for seeing like quality photogrammetry. It was actually it was the last episode that had the sky crane as the thumbnail, because I kind of posed it as if it was picking up the Space Needle there in Seattle. But anyways, on that episode, the terrain going through Washington State was phenomenal. I mean, it was almost like every inch was known, because I mean it's pretty accurate geographical data known about the United States. A lot of companies do surveys, a lot of satellite surveys, a lot of aerial surveys, a lot of everything. You know, it's just every single square inch of the United States is pretty much known as far as its elevation. Siberia, though, of course, satellites are accurate as shit now, but it's also to what avail do they need to know what the entire continent of northern Asia looks like through this bit of Russia? Like, it's good to know a good bit. I'm sure if they wanted to fly a satellite over and get better versions of it, they could. And I'm sure the military probably has much better versions of it. But civilian usage stuff, like, to what point? Why waste all the processing power for that? Doesn't make sense. At least to me, it doesn't. So we might be able to see that bay. If we were higher, we could probably see that bay over there, but I think it's on the other side of those hills. But yeah, like you see that white down there? It's like, I think that's just literally what the ground looks like. A little bit of permafrost, a little bit of mud, a lot of bit of depression. Sprinkle some trees in there. And there you go. You have Siberia. You have the frozen Russian tundra. Like earlier, I was flying high just because it made everything look nicer. But now I was flying high, I'd be above that cloud level. Which these aren't even, there's not good weather data out here either. So it's kind of just like roughly guessing what the weather's like out here right now, just based on satellite imagery. So it's like I said, these few days of yesterday and today, and maybe the next 2 days after this, or the next 2 to 3 days of this, are going to be the worst or the most boring, or whatever you would like to consider it. I think I was saying almost since day one when we were doing this that that this was going to be a very unfun leg. And Sean Berlin, I'll tell you what, I do not want to put a Dollar General out here. I don't think it's deserving. It's nowhere near beautiful enough and nowhere near special enough to need a Dollar General to be installed. But I can now see water down there, which is just about where we're heading. I figure it's going to be about 2.5 hour stream tonight. Like I said, if y'all are getting in here expecting another longer one tonight, don't get too excited. I know yesterday was a 5.5 hour stream or something because we did shenanigans. And what I was able to do, if you want to go back and watch the end of yesterday's stream, we were flying around Brisbane, Australia. And part of my shenanigans with Tom was flying quickly around buildings. But the photogrammetry of Brisbane was so good that it picked up on street lights and it picked up on a whole bunch of signs and stuff like that and spawned those just randomly throughout in between the buildings where you would collide with stuff. Even though it wasn't really showing it to you, you wouldn't see the poles. It was like random, weird, mushy shapes. But there was a tall building there in Brisbane. So what I did, I wanted to do the thing that skateboarders kind of do, like where they ride up a half pipe and they kind of stop and put their board kind of on the lip of the edge and go back down. But I didn't want to go up to the edge. Edge was too easy because you're still landing on top at the end of the day, so you can kind of throw yourself up, and you can play that easier. What I wanted to do, I wanted to drag my skids up the vertical face of the building. I think it took 6 tries, where the first like 4, I didn't miss the building. I was getting within like a foot or two. But my self-preservation was going, okay, cool, we should not hit the building. That's a no-no. But then on the 5th one, I was like, okay, cool. I kind of need to put myself into the mentality of I need to hit the building to be able to do this. So I basically did a full collision with the building, I think on the 5th one, where I was like, okay, cool, I'll accept that I'm going to die on this. And I think the 6th one, I was able to get a skid up the building. But yeah, that was the shenanigans last night. So if you're looking for shenanigans tonight, don't expect it. I got sleep to do. I have a bachelor party tomorrow that I've got to go to and help host. But you stick around for other episodes and we'll be doing some shenanigans after our around the world session. We have to lock in our trip for the day, you know. Ooh, is that a point? I like the sight of that. It's a good thing. Good thing. Let's see what the tablet says. Tablet says we're still in the middle of fucking nowhere. But yeah, that was definitely a, I won't say a weird challenge, but a unique opportunity to explore the aerodynamic characteristics of a rotorcraft in extreme perpendicular movements. Because my brain already understands the airflow movement through the rotor, everything, but when you're doing that sort of maneuver, stunt, whatever you want to call it, you're kind of really fighting your self-preservation. Like I said, I was missing the building a handful of times because I didn't want to hit it. But you really put that test of like, okay, cool, like this is going to be an aggressive X, Y, or Z for this, and you have to know that when you do whatever move, your helicopter is going to move in the same way relative to whatever the orientation of the main rotor is as it would normally, but your brain doesn't think of you quite like that because you're completely 90 degrees to what you were before. I said, it wasn't that bad. I was already relatively accustomed to that thinking just because that's how I mentally process this anyways. But it was an aggressive way to really test that. Like the backwards autos that I've done is a pretty stout way to test that as well. This was a different level of fun and danger, you know. Why not drag your skids while going up a, my guess. Who knows? Got some bigger mountains down here potentially that we're getting over. But we're just going to kind of keep this heading, which seemed good. Yeah. Seems like a more joining up thing since we've been getting pushed to the west of our flight guide, our flight director this entire time. We can angle into it a little bit and hopefully marry back up without doing too much of a 90-degree sharp cut back into it, because like I said, fuel's a thing today. Hello, clouds. I'm definitely not 500 feet below these. I think Russian VFR rules are probably slightly different. And who's going to be out here tattling? I mean, y'all aren't going to tell me, are you? None of y'all are FAA? Better not be. I don't even know if we allow them in the streams. Ew, foggy, gross. It's not low clouds, that's fog, I swear. I'm definitely not just skirting the bottom of these and complaining. Oh, look, the fog lifted. I definitely didn't just descend like 200 feet in altitude. We are speeding, boys. Holy shit. Technically, I think we'd be dead right now. 160 knots. I don't think this helicopter's blade system's meant to handle that. But we want to get to our destination. We got things to do. We have cookies at the FBO waiting for us. I texted them. They're literally putting them in the oven right now because Elaine's not on the aircraft. There we go. It's a little bit better photogrammetry and like mountain details and stuff here. It's not too bad. And back to boring. Damn wind. Okay, we're going to stop free flying here. We're going to look at a point and we're going to go to that point. And that point that I'm going to is that right there at the end of my laser pointer. That's where we're going. We're going to keep our heading and we're going to go there. Of course, no, I'm going to look away for a split second. And then it's going to render in as something slightly different than that, and I'm not going to know which direction. Of course, we're running off a heading anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. These low clouds are a bummer, though. Makes Siberia even worse than it already is. It's hard to do. Hard to do. Russia, fix this. Put a Walmart in. Should be a Dave and Buster's on every corner in Siberia. You lost connection or I lost connection? Because I think I'm doing just fine. Or maybe I'm not. Who knows? The fact is, the helicopter's still flying, and the only mishap so far was today at startup because for some reason we spawned in and I clicked the start button and the helicopter just drove away. And I say drove away, I mean it looks like it literally somebody like floored it and it was like a drag car just drove away and smashed into one of the buildings at the airport. That I'm standing there from the outside watching like what the hell's going on. Try to restart a few different times and kept doing the same thing. So I just took over the helicopter because it respawns you in the air whenever you crash. So I just took over the helicopter in the air, landed it, shut it down, then hopped out and did our intro. But yeah, a little bit of issue starting out today, and for some reason the way I have y'all cropped in was not right on OBS when the stream was starting up. But we fixed that and stuff too before we started going today, so no big deal. And that mountain I said that we were going to be looking at and flying towards, we're going to even alter a little bit and go just to the left of it. Who told Siberia to be this big? Bad move. Spend my life flying across Siberia. Oh. Stretching my back. Don't worry about that, guys. Hold on. I know we're wiggling. That's on me. Let's get our ponies back up. Come on. Mess with my gauges. Cool. Also, speaking of helicopters, which I was, you weren't. I think Vertical Magazine, I think, did, and they released a video on their YouTube. Or that or his helicopter podcast, because it was Halsey Scheider doing the interview. But he was talking to the Bell helicopter people because they finally released the 525 new fly-by-wire helicopter. Super cool. Like it's a type of school bus that they're trying to do like offshore operation stuff. Seats 16 passengers with decent storage and stuff in there as well. I think it's a fully articulated 5-blade. That's what they said. Sorry about the wiggles. Readjusting in the seat here. Yeah, super cool helicopter. I wouldn't move here until Dollar General existed out here. And right now, I think the landscape's a little too ugly for Dollar General. They look for higher quality views and more upper class neighborhoods because Dollar General is not talking about how everything in there costs a dollar. It's that dollars matter at Dollar General and dollars matter to rich people, you know. And this just isn't rich people land. This is poor people land. This mountain range or whatever kind of all goes over way over there. Okay. Oop, you see that? DWIND? Downwind is now probably 50 miles away. We're cruising 140 knots. You do the math. Because I can't do math while I'm flying. I don't have my flight calculator with me. I also don't have Tom in chat right now. He's busy. Our VFR straight lining still going good. We're still on course to cut just to the left of this mountain. Cruising at 80% overall torque, not bad. Yeah, 9 people watching. I'm sorry you guys are having to sit through Siberia right now. I promise in a week or so it's going to be actually entertaining. Blasting around Japan in small helicopters and cheaper helicopters, exploring different places, island hopping, possibly going down to Australia. That's in the books now, potentially. I'm still measuring out the viability of that and see if it's going to add too many days onto the overall journey for us. Uh, Going around Thailand, seeing all the wild mountain stuff they have in Thailand. Getting out to Nepal, going to Everest Base Camp because the actual aircrafts can't get up to Everest height in the game. It won't let us, even though they can in real life. We'll be doing war zone tours of Afghanistan and uh, jumping over to Saudi, checking out big, tall, rich buildings and crazy landscapes in West Saudi. Uh, Seeing the pyramids in Benghazi and talking about that, jumping over to Greece and talking about Greece and all the cool islands out there. I mean, it's going to get exciting here over the next 60, 70, 80 days, whatever it's going to be. Right now, we're just dealing with Siberia. So, my apologies. But Siberia is a necessary evil for us to get to the exciting parts. That's why I kind of wanted to do this now and get this over with in episode 14 to 18 or whatever, just that way we could get this done earlier when there's less people watching and the series has picked up less steam. Because this at the end, even though it's more fun with people talking, which by the way, if you're in here and you haven't said hey, feel free to say hey. But yeah, like this would be more exciting with more people chatting. So let's say at the 90 episode mark, we are averaging 35 viewers. Not big numbers, but I mean that's enough to keep the chat moving quickly the entire time if everybody's, or a few of them are jumping in and contributing, whatever. Flying through this would be not a lot to talk about, and when people are jumping into the stream here and there, thinking like, oh cool, maybe this is a series I want to get into, this really isn't the series that people are wanting to get into because Siberia is boring. But now hopefully within the next few days we'll start getting into the less boring areas, and we can actually start having fun, start getting into some neat places and seeing some neat things, getting to do some more touristy things. I'll be looking up information beforehand about the places we're at. So if we're going through Japan, I'll have facts and quirks and features, as Doug DeMuro would say. But this is Siberia. So we're kind of limited to Siberia being what it is right now. Well, that said, like I said, this is going to be a shorter episode today. We're just going to try to get through this, and probably not going to do any shenanigans at the end because tomorrow's a busy day for me. But yeah, subscribe and come back because I feel like it's only going to get better from here. And once we get through Siberia, I honestly don't see our next boring days being until day 90 plus. Well, maybe like one day south of Japan because we're going to island hop south of Japan to get down to Taiwan. But past that, there's really going to be landmarks, geographical features. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on every day from now. So hopefully you'll like the video whenever you or you'll like the videos whenever we get to that. Um, at least more than this, more than just me monologuing about how horrible this is right now. But I mean, the rest of the world's a pretty exciting place. I mean, this is neat. We're finally getting into like some decent mountains. We're far enough south now, getting towards populated-ish areas here in Russia to where we're getting better photogrammetry and better geographical data to build us good landscapes instead of AI just kind of doing its best, you know? And yeah, past this, the next boring days will be maybe a week or two before the end when we do the UK to Iceland, Iceland to Greenland, Greenland to Canada, and like the one day of Canada and the South to get to a more populated areas in Canada. Once we get past our, those will be the only other like really boring days as far as I'm predicting. But by then, hopefully, we have a lot more people in, and even those days, I think will be more exciting than what Siberia was back there, you know, or at least fingers crossed. Because I also have the thought process now where instead of just doing around the world, we can hit every continent except for Antarctica, because I think that's too far a blast from any location. I'd have to look, but that would honestly be like another month onto this series. But I may do that as a part of the Pan American series. Start from Antarctica, do a big water crossing, get up to South America. Just so I can say I've flown all of them at some point. But now, if we do the Australia thing, then I'll also, when we circle south from coming down the eastern coast of the U.S. to kind of get back to a starting point, what we'll do Florida, because I want to hit the Columbus, Georgia, or I want to go down the east coast. We'll do Columbus, Georgia on like the last day, because that's where a Georgia plane spotting one of our mods is from. But I want to hit his town regardless, just because out of respect to my mods, you know. If you like watching real planes, Georgia plane spotting, GA spotting, good guy to go watch. Wow, shows one viewer. I guess it dropped the service or signal or whatever. Anyways, yeah, it's if we do the Australia thing, that will add that continent to this trip, which means the only other than Antarctica, considering the real continents, you know. At that point, I may do Florida, jump down to Cuba, do the Bahamas, island hop down through that, hit South America, and then come up Central America to go through Texas as well, because Know Your Joe is from Texas. So we can swing by his areas too, because he's a pretty regular on here. So go visit out of respect and tour around there a little bit. And then we can head back over, hit Columbus on the swing back up, and come in and finish the series out back in Hampton, Georgia, where we started. It's me. I'm your viewer. Oh, you mean it's not Belen? Yeah, like my I have it on my phone here. That's how I'm monitoring my comments. So I'm at least one of my viewers, because like I said, I'm watching it from my phone to watch the comments and stuff, because I don't have a plug-in. I don't want to risk the fragility of what VR streaming is to risk a plug-in to ruin a stream and make us start over. So I keep my phone running next to us. I don't know. You do you, man. You know what people like, oh man, it's I gotta go, dude. I hate that I can't be here. Dude, I'm gonna be flying regardless, you know. I'm just happy y'all are here in the first place. It's wild to me that like Sean, he knows if he doesn't come in and watch at least like 2.8 hours a week, that I'll physically come and molest him. But the fact that random people want to pop in here and watch and then they come back to watch more is wild to me. Because I'm not doing like a Grand Theft Auto role play server where I'm hanging out with friends and doing like basically improv comedy the entire time. You know, it's literally me sitting in a helicopter going 145 miles an hour or so over the ground in Siberia, and people are showing up to watch, which is wild. Oh, I'm googling on how to care for a baby bird because one keeps falling out, you know, onto our back porch out of the nest. Put the nest on the porch. Easy. Done. Next question. Do you know what type of bird it is? Is it even a bird? Do baby birds exist? That's a big question. Is it a government drone? Hang a little to the left. We'll follow this valley here. It's like a bit of a 1-9 heading now. And I don't want to completely follow this valley. I want to stay a bit straight. But we'll carve the edge here. No beeping so far. Um, if you put it in the microwave and you run it for like, let's just say 20 minutes, if there's metal inside of it, that metal will start sparking. So that's a good way to test if it's a drone or not. I mean, that would honestly be my first steps to checking to see if the baby bird is a drone or not. Is putting it in the microwave and running it for a significant amount of time to make sure that if there are electronics in there, that those electronics are fried at that point. What you can help, no. So say what can help with that is sometimes if you put a like lemon pepper seasoning on it, because of the minerals in it, it can help short circuit different things in the circuit board. You never use that method to test to see if a bird's real or not. Auxiliary fuel valve, it's doing its thing. We're pushing it. Dropping speed slightly. We're still 25-ish miles away. Kind of. We're going to cut between these two peaks right here. Is that not a proper way to test if a bird is a drone or not? That's just what comes to my mind, obviously. Cracks in the ice. I'm curious if that's AI generated like cracks in the ice for the. They're like, okay, cool, it's snowy on a hill. So there's a chance that it freezes or whatever, and it can put cracks in the ice. Or if that's something that it actually picked up from photos and it put on there. Because if that's the case, then we're finally getting into better terrain because they have good satellite imagery of it. That looks like real cracks to me. Like photographed real cracks from satellite imagery. And I think over this mountain range here is our bay. Yeah, I believe so. Ugh, not that pretty. A little bit of tundra left. Thought we were over that. Oh well. We're basically aiming for the peak of that mountain. A little bit left of that snow patch that's way out there. At least that's what I'm setting my sights to currently. Try to zero out our vertical speed. No need to go up or down right now of anything 100 feet a minute up or whatever, but we're playing in the weird downdrafts and updrafts leaving that range, so we'll wait until we get out in the open a little bit more to really dial that in. Tom, welcome back. You made it. I guess the trip today was long enough for you to make it in here. But we're probably about 30 to 50 miles away from Tiki 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 Tiki. We are basically directly north of it over this last little tundra bit. And then we have one little mountain section left. And I believe that's it. For some reason, it didn't send all the way through to my Garmin's here in the system. So we're kind of running it by eye as well as we have the EFB here. So you can see the scale. Oop, 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 oop. The scale is a 25-mile scale, so I think we're a little bit past 25 miles out from it. But I'll let you look at that. I'd say anywhere between 25 to 50 miles out. Which is good because our automatic auxiliary tank deal is starting to slowly siphon fuel from the auxiliary area. But we've been dealing with a lot of boring flying today. So, I mean, after you left, I mean, I think it was just me in here for like 20 to 30 minutes just flying over ground that looked like this. So I ended up going to like 6,000 or 7,000 feet just so I didn't have to look at plain white. I could at least like have some sort of something uh, like a vaster geography to look at. Oop, I can start to see the bay down there on the view on the Garmin. So you can see that down here just above the nav button. Right there. Well, it's anywhere from 25 to 50 miles, I believe. We are flying usually at above 120 knots, trying to keep our torque down a little bit, so I'm sacrificing some speed for time. Just that way we're happy on fuel, and that's not a thing. Like I can turn on the cheater brackets, and we're still pretty much on course here. But even with that, it's nice to see the two little lollipop things popping up over the mountain back there. So, we're getting pretty good. We're getting there. Yes, 222, the Bravo retractable gear model. Over the Tundra, I'm trying to do these faster birds with bigger range and bigger fuel capacities just so it's can. I was saying earlier, these are basically mentally what I've planned as the most boring days of this entire series, being the Eastern Russia bit before we get to Japan. Uh, just after we get off Japan and hit those islands, but honestly, I think that'll be more exciting than this. Um, and then are hopping from the UK to Iceland to Greenland to Canada, and just like maybe one day in Canada while we're heading south. I think every other day will be much more exciting than that. So these are kind of on the board. And Airwolf music, hell yeah. I don't think you've seen us do the 222 yet, but the last time we did, they actually have an Airwolf livery for it, and it even has the little jet engine things in the side pods. So very cool. But I definitely feel like we'll have another Airwolf day. We may do that south of Japan, or in a. I am seriously considering coming down to Australia and at least hitting your area in the Sunshine Coast, and then scooting back kind of straight up, angling across to get up through Indonesia to work up through Thailand and get back on course there. I don't think it'll be too terrible of a detour. Maybe like a week and a half detour, which isn't bad. 15, 20 hours isn't a terrible thing to dip down and see some other places. And at the same time, it's like I was saying that the Siberian area here is very, very boring. But at least going through all those islands and stuff, it's like neat islands. There's history. There's actual airports to land at, to where we're not doing these crazy jumps from here to here where we're in the air for 3-4 hours at a time. Um, and then doing that, I can do the thing where we hop to from Florida to Cuba and island hop in the Caribbean Sea here in South America, and then get down to South America. And that way I've done all the real continents, not including Antarctica, for this trip. And then I'll just do Antarctica at a future date. But yeah, we'll definitely be in the Airwolf helicopter again. Eventually, I'll make sure you're here whenever we do it. And who knows, we may even break it out for post-flight shenanigans. Yeah, at least there's a lot less snow. Because when there is snow, I mean, it's just like the white ground with little black spots for trees. It just looks like I'm flying over static, and it's not. It's not pleasant for me to fly over, and I know it's probably not pleasant for everybody else watching as well. So, got like a 500 foot per minute climb ish, and that should crest us just nicely over this hill, and maybe we'll even see the bay once we do that. Once we hit the bay, we'll be following the eastern shore of the western side of the bay down to a little island strip where Tilichiki Airport is. Don't check me on the pronunciation, though. Throw a little bit more torque at it. More torque. Yes, sir. Do a cool, like, fighter jet break over it. Come up. Hard bang. Drag the tips of our rotors over the edge. Shoo! And there's a bay. Never thought I'd be excited to see water. And look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. I love that. Tomorrow's leg, I think we're going to head west over to the other side of this peninsula. I think we have a fuel stop that we can do there. And then we head west over that bay and a bit further south. I forget the name of the town. We'll run over the game plan once we land. As like I said, I won't be doing a shenanigan session afterwards tonight. I've got a lot of packing to do about getting stuff ready for tomorrow. But we'll kind of go over the next few days, potential legs and such. Like the clouds are even clearing up a little bit. I can see the blue sky. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Does it even show the other side over here? Yeah, so I think there's a airport that's usable kind of where the tip of the laser is, like right here. So I think we'll jump across and hit there, grab fuel, and then head over here somewhere. If you're looking at the map, of course, I can't move this map around. It's stupid. But I believe that's what the plan is, tentatively. And that's tentative if I'm on tomorrow, depending on. I'm not a party person, so I'm not going to be drinking and getting into much debauchery tomorrow. But I will be up at 7 a.m. It's currently 11:20 p.m. So I'll be up at 7 a.m. Getting everything ready, heading out there, getting the location set up for the bachelor party, doing the bachelor party from 10 a.m. until who knows what time. We'll be racing motorcycles around the property. We'll be shooting guns. We'll be cooking steaks, smoking cigars, probably a little bit of whiskey, but none of us are really, really big drinkers, so that's not a huge concern. Either way, tomorrow is going to be a day for sure. So there's a potential of stream tomorrow not happening, but I will come in either way after that. For Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, we'll come in strong. I'm kind of doing this every day. That's not the end of an extremely long day for me. It's a bit of a decompress too. Decompress, a lot of straight and level stuff. Get happy and relaxed, and then we pop back in for shenanigans after to kind of shake. Sounds like a you kind of day. Well, I mean, we do have much cooler guns up here. I'll say that. Y'all have definitely gotten cucked in that department. But it should be good. Just a whole bunch of homies hanging out. There's a couple of people that I don't know that are coming out because he has friends from all over the country that are going to be at the wedding. I think a couple that are from out of town are going to come in just for the bachelor party. I think there's like 7 of us. It's not like huge numbers, but it's still it'll just be a fun day out doing stuff, getting more sunburnt than I already am. I believe that's our island straight ahead. Let's check our cheater thing right there. Yep, that's it. So, Tiki 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 Tower, this is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We are about 7 miles to your north, just over the mountains coming in. We will be looking for a spot on the ramp. Cookie's in the FBO. Elaine is not with us. Nothing to worry about. Neither's Kat. We don't know what happened to her. Sorry about that. But we'll see in just a second. Tiki 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 Tower. Let's zoom in on the Garmin a little bit. And we'll do an orbit of this place too, just to check it out first before setting ourselves up for a landing. Tiki 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 Tower, this is Helicopter November 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. Call sign Fuckwagon. Haven't brought that one out in a while. We're going to do a quick orbit or two, a high and low reconnaissance pass over the airport, and we'll just proceed straight to ramp. Tiki 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 Tower. Oh, there's a boat. We haven't seen anybody in years. No, literally, we haven't seen a tag since we were, I think at the water over at, Provienda Bay. Let's check out this tugboat. Oh, there's 2 boats. 3 boats. Holy shit. A tanker? A tanker's gonna spawn and be huge, I know it. Where are you at, Kima? Oh. General tanker. Oh, okay. I was expecting something big. Oh well. We'll see some more big ships eventually. There was one that scared the piss out of me in a river, I think, when we were going, after we left St. Louis. Was it the St. Louis day? Yeah, I think St. Louis day. So day 1 was to Nashville, 2 was to St. Louis, 3 was, yeah. So day 3 flying. I think we were, sorry, I'm settling myself up here. Yeah, day 3 we were following a river west through Missouri, and I see a boat name tag, and I'm expecting something small like that to pop up. Then a huge full-size fucking barge shows up. Passenger. Orleans passenger. Bearcoot passenger. You see like 3? I didn't see anything pop up. Let's see. I see the at least there's snow. What's tomorrow's leg? Sounds like a me kind of day. I also may check the settings once we set down. I don't know if there's a slow mode sort of thing, or you can only post a comment every X amount of seconds. I don't know. I'll have to look and check that out. So anyways, we're here at Tiki now doing a high reconnaissance pass. Now they have some sort of runway and approach procedure, but they have a whole bunch of helipads here, which is really what we're doing. I'm looking for a windsock 2. And we'll just land into the wind as standard. There's a windsock. Wind's coming from the north. North-ish. So wind's directly off of our left right now. Or no. Is the wind moving or just my vision of the windsock? Okay, wind's coming from the west. So yeah, we'll come in from the water side here, and land in kind of in that section next to the fuel truck. Not next to it, but in that little parking area to the north of it. Tiki tower. This is helicopter Fuckwagon. We are going to be approaching from the east, direct to the ramp near the fuel truck. Tiki tower. Okay, let's work on slowing down. We'll set up an approach to come in. You said things in between then. Weird. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check the settings once we set down. Because I know sometimes it doesn't, or I've seen in other chats where it won't let you say stuff in like super quick succession to each other. Um, I don't know why I would have that turned on, but I'll check. Because that's really a thing, like when you have a lot of people in there, but it's just us. It's like 10 people at most, you know? And even then, only like 5 people are talking at most. Okay, we're kind of on the approach. I have to fly kind of strange right now because I'm having to do all these things. My parking brake is off currently. Yep, that's on, that's off. And now we can stabilize the approach because I am actually able to put down my controllers. What are the chances an airplane spawns in front of us exactly where I wanted to land? Had a nice approach going on there. Let's see what I can do. Because I was going to land where that far left airplane is right there. We'll just sit down here kind of on the left side of this snow patch. Kind of facing off of this caravan. Feel a little bit of wind, no big deal. Got plenty of space from the truck over to the left, so I'll even crab myself a little bit that way. And now we just come down and we sit down nice and easy. Keep my feet off the brakes at the moment, which I actually haven't mapped to a button because my pedals aren't two part like that. We're down. Let's roll forward. Who are you? Where'd you come from? Okay, parking brake on. Let's shut off the caution so we're not listening to that. Beep. Let's roll the throttles down. Step outside for just a second. Very cool. Okay, but I've got my throttles turned all the way down. I didn't even turn on y'all's seatbelt sign for that because I know y'all are cool. Start cleaning up those. Shut up. Click the idle stops there. No, I clicked the stop button. You're supposed to stop. Oh well. I'll teach y'all a lesson. What do you see? Shut up. There you go. Okay, cool. It's just a delayed thing. Quiet. Quiet. Off, off. Those lights can go off. Take all the bus interconnects. Fuel system valves closed. Be quiet. Turn my landing light off with my right there. Okay, cool. I'm just going to Shift C. Let's walk under the little wishes. Nice. Good night, Whirly enthusiast. Sean, adios. Thanks as always for dropping in. Hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. Let's see what my chat settings are. Community moderation. What does that mean? Users, hidden users, all channels can redirect that content, block links, channel permissions, upload default channel, the general agreement script. Defaults, comments on, moderation, none. It was on basic. Okay, so maybe that will fix that. It was on like a basic moderation thing, so it looked like it would automatically moderate comments. For whatever reason. What that reason could be, I don't know. But like I said, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, okay, cool, it doesn't like people commenting 50 times, or who knows. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, bud. Listen up. First of all, I'm not racist, but I don't think there are black people in Eastern Russia. Unless this is, with that hair. Maybe it's like Eastern Russian Inuit or something. I don't know. I'm not paying my landing fees. Your face is very flat and you look better from about right here. But also, I'm not paying my landing fees. But anyway, yeah, that completes tonight's journey, tonight's leg. Thank you, everybody who dropped in, anybody who's watching this in the future. We'll continue doing this. Now we're going to hop off this, lock in our location, and we'll do some quick planning for future flights. Before I hop off and shower and have a night, let's see. Set as departure. Let's just do big helicopter, see what max range is. 225. Excuse me. Why is my screen so off center? That's weird. Fuel and payload. Manage fuel. Give me 5,000 pounds of that good. Okay, so MD500 Mara? Yeah, we could. We started doing MD500A, and then that was when I had a big failure of all headset, everything, streaming just died. Actually, if we're going to do MD500 tomorrow, then we'll go ahead and set this up full fuel. So that way we can kind of plan it more accurately for the MD500, you know? You heard? Fuel and payload, manage fuel. Oh, I want all the way around. 427 out of 429, not bad. So Tilichiki Airport. Looks like we have enough to make it over here, which I believe is our next one. Yep, Tegel. I believe that's what I have marked on my Google Maps as well. Let's see. No, I've got the Palana marked because it actually shows as paved in my on Google Satellite View. Which Tegel it doesn't have as paved, although there's definitely Jet A at Tegel. I'll say that. I see some helicopters and I see some like PC-24 looking jets. Really citation, it's straight fronts on the wings. So yeah, Tegel's an option, or Palana, which that brown usually means it's an unimproved runway. I believe that's what their filter is here. No published instrument procedures. Oh, okay, cool. Approach procedure and radar minimums. Seaplane. Sick. Okay. Anyway, so this one here is an option. Paved, nice airport. Tegel's also an option. This over here is where I would like to end up eventually. Sokol. So if we were to start from, or jump from here, set as departure. We have a bit of a water journey, but that puts us well within striking distance of Sokol. Suckle these nuts, or whatever the kids say. Sadly, I don't have the Hell Yeah Edition livery. I don't even know if that's a thing. Let's see what liveries they have. Oh, I was messaging the dudes who were flying his helicopter for the for that first episode of Month of Freedom. We do have the Magnum PI. When I fly, though, I usually do the SAR Search and Rescue one. Just because I think Search and Rescue is a super cool type thing. The Breitling one, Breitling, one's pretty cool. The 353 SARs look sick. Let's see what other ones look good. Caribbean one looks good because I always like that deep colors. Even though it's purple, whatever, it looks good. Deep colors. Ooh, November 420 WC. Almost our call sign. 368, it's like a polished brown. Let me go back to the Search and Rescue one real quick. The T353. Yeah. I like it just because it has SAR on the side. Swiss Air Force. Very cool. Breitling V2. LAPD. Grenvokshi. What is this? It's a police department one, but who? I don't see anything. Usually you see the PD numbers in the tail or in the registration. It's a police department. Another T353. Yeah, dude, blimp video is fucking sick. Holy shit. The way they just levitated, basically, coming off the ground. I mean, that's literally what it is. It floats. It's a blimp, I understand. But it just went straight up. And the fact that he got to fly, it's even cooler. They let him get in the seat and wiggle the sticks, you know. Because it's like, it's a little bit of, he's a big internet personality, so he can look, Australia has one. Um, it's kind of like he's a big internet personality, so he can get away with doing that. Can I just search livery? Creators, Cowan? Oh, can't search Cletus. So part of it, I feels like he's a big internet personality, so he can, I don't want to say get away with it, but they'll let him do stuff because he's Cletus and can get a lot of views and a lot of attention to whatever they're trying to push or to sell or to promote or whatever. But also, it's like he's put a lot and a lot and a lot of work and time into actually legitimately be a quality pilot, which is huge. You know, it's I'm not saying a lot of people don't do that, but you know, it's not a lot of people do. You know, people are like, okay, cool, we get this, we did this, we did this, we did this. Let's see, November 42 FF. Nope. Anyways, yeah, he puts a lot of time into becoming a quality pilot. You know, it's not like he's just got his license, flies every once in a while, doesn't do his checklist or whatever. I mean, he's a super solid guy, like everything by the book, spent the money to get his helicopter where it needs to be. And then apparently he's even spending more. Damn it. Apparently he's even spending more to get it even nicer because Thoroughbred Aviation, super quality place, they do good, but they're not a big MD place. So apparently he's consulting with MD people as well to put himself in a better position. So these are about just about equidistance from Oak Sokol. I just had Sokol as a departure. So yeah, we couldn't reach that from where we're at today, which is over here, I think. Tilichiki. So yeah, we'll either go to Panera, whatever, Palena, or Tiggle tomorrow. And then our next day, whatever day next flying day is, and head over to Sokol. Then Sokol will start heading south from there. We have Oatkosk that's available down the beach. From there we have that one that's down the beach that we can hit. Then we start getting into all these over here. Whole bunch of good places. Whole bunch of places to land or exist. Set us departure there. That gets us down here to one of these. Or even oh yeah. Novi. Says departure. And then from there, I mean, we can hit. We could have either gone down this island. Yeah, we could have got out to here as well. And then we're hitting northern Japan. So it's really just a hop to Sokol and 1, 2, 3 days, but each day it's getting better. And then we're over into Japan and coming down. And my current plan was, let me use my laser pointer. Uh, my current plan is to tour Japan a little bit, south. There's plenty of little island hops to do, so I'm not too worried about that. Um, Taiwan, China, Thailand, Myanmar, Burma, all these, Nepal and over, okay? But the option now is have an ocean day here. Let's just set this far south. Air Force Base, radar station. This is within MD 500, and that puts us well within the ability to reach here. And of course, it might not be an MD 500 day that day. So with that said, then it's like a tank and a half on an MD is probably a full day. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, get over here. No, we'd want to get over here. So we'd end down here on one of the days. And probably do like a big Airbus 225 or something for this jump. But yeah, that makes it definitely possible to jump using something fast. Then we can hit here. We'll coast down, see you. We'll desert up, and we'll do a 1 or 2 day trip and fucking just knock the shit out of that out. Then we'll hit here, do a bounce, then up through here. Maybe, if we play our cards right, we can invade North Sentinel Island, which I think is over here. Maybe. They need to be invaded. Fuck those people. Yeah, then kind of get back into our normal course of where I wanted to go. I wanted to see Thailand. I think they have some pretty gnarly mountains kind of over in this area. One of the guys I watch on YouTube, he did some excursions out there, and it's wild. On the last episode, I cracked up so hard when he just paused the bomb timer. Like, guys, wait, let's think about this. Wait, you can pause that? And he started back in. Through the Kuril Islands. Let's see. I thought about doing the Kuril Islands, but there's a very big gap and there's a whole lot of nothing. It's like the island hopping equivalent of Siberia. Because we could do it, but if you look, it's like that. And I think this one here, if it loads in, like if you look at the airports on the island, one of them's like an old defunct military base. Like obviously not, it's not something that's usable, really. It's like, yeah, sure, I could. Let's say, because I explore this option. Let's say this one here says departure. It's like, yeah, that gets me down here for this is MD 500, so it's not obviously a big tank of fuel. But when you look at the satellite view of these, I mean, it's that's the first like decent one there. So I've thought about it. It could shave time off, but if I were to do it, I would do I would do it in one big hop. I wouldn't day it. I wouldn't land. I would do it as a how far can I fucking go? Range 700. Oh, don't freeze on me. 225, 700. Chinook's only 374. Okay, weird. Guess it burns a lot. No statistics, 340, 300. I think this is our furthest range one. Let's max fuel real quick so we can look at our fuel. Ooh, hell yeah, we hit it right up there. So it's like, yeah, the 225 does put that in our reach. And I think one of these airports is usable. I like I said, I did the scouting, um, trying to see what there could be. So even if that one wasn't the best one, like it is possible for this jump to happen. And that could save us 4 days on the trip. So it's kind of a, do we want to do a huge ass water day? I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Um, if anything, I'll say our next episode is probably not going to be tomorrow, but it will be either Sunday or Monday. Most likely Sunday. And then at that point, we could say we could do our jump from here to wherever. And then we can figure out if we want to do that and just head down here and finish up our next stream at the tip of this peninsula and do the big jump, or we want to add 2 to 3 days onto the trip to go around this way, because I'll one sitting this one. I don't want to fucking go and end here, then have to do it another day. I'll just deal with it. You like to see the islands? Okay. We'll throw it on consideration. I don't want to take away your judgment, but we do have other people watching. And my own sanity, I guess part of it kind of deals with how I'm feeling in the day too. If I've had a rough day, I do not want to sit through water. I think I don't want to sit through Siberia much anymore either. But yeah, we'll see. I'll go over the planning on this a little bit more and see what it looks like and what's available. Because if anything, we can hit one of the last, this airport or whatever here, and just do a top off so we're more than solid to get down here, or even call this a stop and then finish, and then we'll actually finish in Japan. But that's the thing. And another reason why I wasn't super keen on the islands here, yeah, I would shave 2 days off for sure. Another reason I wasn't super keen on doing these was because I wanted to do these afterwards, south of Japan. And I didn't know if I wanted to back myself that much. Which I know I'm going to have to back water trips when I'm doing UK to Iceland, Iceland to Greenland, Greenland to here. Or Greenland's going to be a boring day crossing that. Then there to Canada. But, oh yeah, and then down here I plan on going ish, something like that. Just to say I hit South America. Look at all these strips or heliports or whatever on the river here. These heliports? Yeah, they're all fucking heliports. Wild. All the good women down there. Anyways, yeah, we got like 2 days to think about that because, like I said, I'm most likely not going to fly tomorrow. If that's 2 days extra come to Australia, hell yeah. See, I think I'm going to do Australia either way. Just because it'll be good to get down there since you're a good contributor. And I can also do I hit all the continents except for Antarctica. Which I don't even think it's possible for me to get Antarctica. Whoop. Maybe. Is Antarctica a thing? if I were to come down and do my big range, that's going to be my closest there. So big water day. I could hit, what station is Ackworthy Station? Yeah. If I can make the station there, I could do Antarctica. I think McNurty Station or something's on the peninsula here too. But either way, I could at least hit whatever that station is. But I don't want to do that as part of this trip. I mean, I guess also if we get to the point where we're here and I get a call from the show I'm working, they say, hey, it's going to be another like month and a half until we're ready to work. Then we're going to be doing a South America tour and we're going to make this in every continent on the planet sort of thing. But for now, I think we'll just skim South America. But yeah. So this right here is miserable. Imagine this. Let's zoom into where we can see airports. Look at this. There's nothing. There is nothing out here. Either way, that I think Australia is definitely going to happen. The island chain, I got 2 days to figure that out. But maybe, because like you said, it's more time to get to Australia. But I'm going to call that a night for tonight, guys. Got some stuff to do tomorrow. It's now 2 o'clock in the morning, or midnight for me. Midnight 02. But I'll see all you guys next time. I'll be back tomorrow, the day after, or something like that. We'll do some flying. We'll do some chatting. It's going to be a good old, grand old time. So, yeah, peace. I'll see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, whatever people ask for.